I'm so tired. This was a rough shift to get through. I was gonna get, as I said in the thing last night, I was gonna get new work shifts today, and then this work shift decided to just be a douche. This was a douche work shift. So there was somebody in that car. Probably think I'm crazy. But yeah, no, today sucked. Kinda. It was just both me and the girl who came in worked the same shift as me. We both just had crappy work days. Just crap. I had an issue with someone, which I'm not going to talk about because it's works related, you know. Anyway, someone was just very disrespectful to me. And I kind of almost snapped because I was just already just beaten and tired. And I also, it's particularly sketchy back here with the light. You'd think darkness would make it more so. Anyway, the security guard's gonna come back here and think I don't work here and be like, you can't be back here. Because random people aren't supposed to. Oh my God. Don't scare me like that, you bastard. It's following me. Stop following me. Yeah, people apparently just came back here and ate their fast food. Probably people eating before coming into them. Probably try to sneak it into the theater. It's still trying to follow me. Anyway, I have about 25 minutes before my max because we got off a little early, and honestly, we were, you know, not that early, but like 10, 12 minutes early. And yeah, it was a day. I had this issue at work right before my first break, so I pretty much was just ruminating about that on that break so I could, you know, get it out of my system and not carry it on through the shift. And then take my half, I forget Portland went from moderate risk back to high risk with COVID, so I'm like, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm gonna go get some fast food, go to Jack in the Box, and they're only drive-through because of the recent uptick. So I have to backtrack all the way to the Walmart over here, and you know, by the time I go all the way over there, the Jack in the Box, and backtrack to here, race through here to get some freaking food, and finally, you know, come out, freaking, I barely had any time left. I literally ate a bag of cookies because I literally had to grab something that I could just eat, and I didn't have time to think it over. So my whole day, I'm functioning on cookies so far. Anyway, yeah. So my first break was stressful. My half was stressful. My last break, I literally went into like the one theater that nobody else was going to be here for, and just collapsed into a chair because my legs were so tired. Turn the lights on me, bro. Yeah, this workday sucked. And I was fine to get off a little bit early. Anyway, so because I have a little extra time, God, so much for redoing my ponytail. I have hair all over my face. I'm gonna take the classic long way. This is the way I used to take all the time. Then I started cutting through the high school. This way is actually probably more sketchy. But I'm invested now. Of time, I also have a weapon on me if need be. This used to actually be the way I would go home. And it's pretty sketchy. There was always broke down cars. There was always people living out of their cars over here. I don't know if that's changed. I haven't been this way since the quarantine started. And there was always at least one sketchy person. They cut these bushes out because there used to be people that would live in there too. And then there's the high school. But yeah, and it's just because it just ends at the school here, so it's just kind of a back road cul-de-sac that goes downhill. So this is all like hidden from the main drag, so it was a real convenient place for people to park their cars. It seems like these all look like they're naturally supposed to be here, and I'm sure a few people lived in the brush here. But yeah, they're doing that in the city now. Clearing a lot of brush out. Places where homeless people can hide. I wonder what this guy's up to, wherever they are. better not stop right there because that's the way I turn. Oh man, it's been eons. I have not gone up this way in a long time. Because yeah, here's a little pathway that cuts up onto a street. And this used to be the way I went to go home. And you never know if someone's around this corner. Can't see it too well, but yeah, this is really growing up. This used to be, I don't know, maybe they're running homeless people off more because this used to be a lot of dead grass where a lot of people would sleep. And you come up here and you're on another cul-de-sac. And this just beelines that way. And a few blocks down this direction, you get to the Holgate Max stop, which is the Max stop I would primarily take. Well, before I moved up to Portland. This is 88th and 88th Avenue and Cora Street. And near this intersection, there was a guy, it was Barack Rosen was his name, who was killed on Father's Day a couple years ago. And he lived right around, or at least that's what the newspaper said, that he lived really close to this intersection. And someone shot him dead at the high school over there, middle of the night. And I worked that night and went home and woke up the next day and, you know, during the middle of the night, someone had shot this guy dead. People reported gunshots and they heard, or they saw they went to started searching around and they found a dead body of this guy. And as far as I know, because I did a video about it kind of right after it happened, just kind of tried to keep attention on the matter. And it was 2018, I remember, because I just moved in with my girlfriend. And yeah, I was just trying to keep some attention on it because it was like a week went by, 2 weeks went by, it was still unsolved. And I haven't checked in a while, so I haven't found anything new. So I don't know if there's been a resolution to that, but from what I remember, he hadn't lived here too long. And it was just a very, very strange set of affairs that this guy, he literally was found dead around the track football field of the high school there. And yeah, there just wasn't, I haven't seen any updates, so I really don't know if there's been any changes, if they found out who was responsible for that. I think probably the last time I checked was several months to maybe even like a year ago. So I should check back on that, because there could have been some resolution finally to what happened in that case. Anyway, yeah, this feels very familiar to me, but it also feels kind of strange, you know, because I was out of work for a year, and every work day I've gone that old way, cutting through the high school, because it's substantially quicker than going this way. And I'd have to go through that sketchy cul-de-sac back there that was surprisingly barren of people and vehicles that they were living out of. And I'm able to climb up here, and I'm one block off of Holgate down there. There's too many sketchy ass people walking up and down Holgate as there is walking up and down Powell. So I tend to stay along this stretch till I get almost to where I have to kind of divert around and go through there to get to the Holgate Max stop, because I've still got like 18 minutes. Like, I have some time, so I intentionally, this way really doesn't take that much longer than the Powell, but I mean, it's still probably like 5 minutes, and 5, 6, 7 minutes, that's a big deal when you're trying to rush to catch something. Now there's something over here, and I swear it was like the skeleton of like a piano, and is it still here? I don't know if they got rid of it. It looks like there was like a thing that it was like the inside of a piano. It looks like it's gone. Well, that sucks. Oh man, I wonder if this house has been fixed up. This house over here, directly in front of me. I know it's dark and you can't really see it, but this has always been such a sketchy freaking house. Like always. Not this one in front of me, but this one next to it. They would have a Chuck E. Cheese banner in the top window, and it was always like falling apart. It was like this house right here. This was always like that house you'd see in redneck movies where it was just always falling apart. They have like their no trespass. It actually looks like they fixed it up a little bit. The porch doesn't look like it's caving in anymore. So good for them. Still looks like crap, but yeah, here's where this area. I tend to cut through here so I can avoid this intersection. You never know what kind of people you're gonna bump into walking along Holgate, so the longer you can be off of Holgate, the better. And hopefully this doesn't end up being one of those decisions I regret. Some psycho decides to show up at the Holgate Max stop the one time I go down to take that one. They'll do that to you, though. I remember this was all just a muddy field for a long time, and they rammed these in. That I guess are like businesses on the bottom, homes on top, kinda, I guess. I always forget there's 3 stores at this intersection. You got the AM, PM, 7-Eleven, and then there's like a kind of independently owned market over there. And I'm on to Holgate. This is the area where people get murdered. Yeah, there's a guy waiting at the bus stop there, and he was definitely a drug addict. I didn't get within 6 feet of him, but I still feel like I got too close. You know what I'm talking about? And there was a woman sitting with him that was kind of dressed nicely, and I'm like, you two don't look like you're together, but they were like kind of close to each other, like they didn't mind, so I don't know, maybe they're together. Even though she was kind of dressed up and looking good, and he looked like a truck had just run him over while he was doing heroin and crack at the same time. Yeah, so this stop's a little bit different than that one that you actually kind of go up to. This one you actually have to go down the stairs to get to. And sometimes, it's clear. I was gonna say, sometimes there's just a homeless person just kind of sleeping at the base of the stairs here. It's hit or miss. I forget how much louder it is here because you're right up against the freeway. Whereas the Powell one, you're a little ways back from the freeway. So yeah, you're just right here. But other than that, it's just a stop. Run-of-the-mill stop, a Max stop that I've utilized going all the way back to 2012-ish. I could still taste the cookies. That's all I've eaten today, for the record, is cookies. Again, because I had to rush my half and I didn't have time to stop and think. So my main meal of the day is going to happen in about an hour once I get home finally. There's this guy. "10 minutes. Yeah. 10 minutes is a long time to be at this Max stop. Especially because I just saw there's somebody over there that's walking this way who looks haggard. It's hard to know what to do with a haggard-looking person, because they might just come at you. Then again, they might just fall over, You don't know. Yeah, this is the stop I was at when I just had to friggin' pull a guy off the tracks because he was so drugged out of his mind. Young guy, too. He was literally, like, right there. He was just sitting on the tracks. His feet were, like, across them. Friggin' train started coming in, and I had to pull him off at the last second. I talked about that when I saw a girl walking down the tracks a little while back when I was doing one of these. And, yeah, this was the stop where that happened at. And, yeah, he was just right over there, sitting on the tracks. And I'm like, hey, buddy. Like, at first, people will do that. They'll just casually sit on the tracks. Or, like, they'll sit, like, back against this, feet on the tracks. And a lot of people are just doing it because they want people to look at them and think they're, like, edgy. Which I don't think is ever the case. And, you know, they'll usually, you know, when they hear the train coming from way down here, they'll pull their feet back. But the operator will still see them, and the operator will pull in and pull their little radio out and be like, do not sit on the tracks. Man, somebody was chilling down here. That was one of the most chill max rides I've had in a while, and last night it was chill, but like tonight there was literally like 8-9 other people on the max and nobody said anything. Everybody was just, you know, I mean, most of the people that are on the max at this time, there's gonna be a few wackos, but a lot of people are just people who like, this is like the end of their work day. So everyone's just kind of like, and you know, wiped out, but thank God we're going home. There's a guy there kind of walking back and forth from something. I don't know what the hell that is next to that RV. It's like a pile of, it's like a box shaped something or other. The guy's just chilling by it, but not really chilling. He's chilling, but he's not chilling. Because he's kind of wandering back and forth, and it was like, because when I first got off the max and started coming towards the street, he was standing right next to it, and then as I suddenly showed up and I was crossing the street and all that stuff, he started like walking away from it and kind of casually strolling, and taking a puff off his cigarette and doing all those classic things you do when you don't want someone to think you're up to something. And then I just glanced back, and it was like, now that I'm like a ways past him, he's kind of walking back towards that thing. So I don't know if that's some random thing he owns or if he's fixing to steal something. I don't know. When he's within my view and he ain't actually doing anything illegal, I'll be suspicious, but I ain't gonna do nothing till somebody breaks the law. 'Cause that's the law, I guess. There's a lot of loud vehicles puttering in the mall parking lot over there. What the hell? What are you doing up in that tree? Get down from there. Don't you know people fall and break their legs when they're climbing and swinging around in trees? I'm honestly amazed. There was like a little mix of like 4 or 5 little trees next to pretty much the big dumpster we had at the apartments that I grew up at when I was really, really young. And when I was, 4, 5, 6 years old, we would climb up and dangle in those trees and all this stuff. And we'd climb up and sit on the dumpster, and how we didn't get diseases, I don't know. And how I didn't fall out of those trees, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff about childhood that should have taken me down, but just didn't happen. I was lucky. Come on, let's get some juicy drama in here. I want to see something, Hasn't really been some real drama on this walk. So the walk, could have been, was creepy, but nothing happened. Hanging out at the Max stop was a little creepy, but nothing happened. Nothing happened on the Max. And then aside from that one guy kind of wandering around back there, nothing's going on. Oh, there's the popo. Should run after the police vehicle. Where's the action, guys? Tell me where the action's at. Right now, I'm the only action. I don't want to be the action. I want to film the action. It doesn't have to be anything violent. It doesn't have to be anything psychotic. I just want to see something. Something meant for prime time television. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just real tired. And I think I'm not really paying attention to anything that I'm saying. Oh, thank God. Tomorrow, I don't work. Tomorrow, my plan is to do my taxes finally tomorrow. I know they're due like mid-May or something, but try to keep with the old tradition and try to get them done by April 15th. And, other than that, like, I'm not doing squat tomorrow. I know that usually means I'll end up doing something, but I mean, I'm not planning on doing anything else because this weekend, bitch slapped me to the ground. It was just, and a lot of it's, I think a lot of, it's also just going really hard and just being exhausted. But I think a lot of it's these shoes, if your feet ain't feeling good, the pain goes from your feet through your heels, up through your lower legs, up your calves, to your knees, to your thighs, gets up in your hips. It's all interconnected. Again, if this day didn't go completely haywire, I was planning on getting a new bag. Which you see, I got my old one on my back. The zipper is slow, like it's still zipping up, but the zipper's become disconnected from the fabric. So there's kind of a hole growing and it's just getting bigger and bigger, and eventually this thing ain't gonna zip up anymore. So I was gonna get a new bag and I was gonna get new work shoes today. That was, before I had to be just stressed beyond reason before taking my first break, and then, all the drama that happened with my half, and I had no energy left by the time I took my last break. So, no new shoes, no new bag, but those elements of my life are, they'll be forthcoming eventually. Oh boy. It's been a week. Just a lot more exhaustion from work than I thought I would have, because I just came off of this week where I literally had Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, but there was still like stuff that had to happen. Yeah, and there's other stuff that started going on this week, but I don't want to talk about that with you yet. I'm gonna leave you in some suspense. It's actually not like video related. It's not like, oh, I have a new project. Like, I am working on new stuff, but it's not that. There's other things going on in life that I'm holding back until just everything gets lined up. The stars must align. That ought to keep you intrigued for a little while. I think you'll know it when it happens. This thing that I'm keeping from you that, I don't know, you could say the wheels are spinning on now, because, most of what I post over the next little while isn't going to be things that would shock you, like, oh, that's interesting, and it has nothing to do, again, with vlogging. So I'm going to do a video for it that I'll probably post here, as well as my CV Amateur story, and I might just post it across all my YouTube, since it's directly related to me, and it'll let you all know what's up. So that'll keep you in suspense for a while. But again, like, when the video pops up, you'll know it when you see it, because everything else I'm posting is gonna be primarily the same kind of stuff I'm usually posting. So you have that waiting for you. And I'm almost home, and I'm pleased as punch, and I'm hungry because all I have is cookies in me right now. So I bid you adieu. Good night.